Liz in Los Angeles. Hey, Liz, thanks for listening to KPFK. What's up?
Hi. This whole issue of abortion, they're not addressing one major issue, and that is the child support issue. Who's going to take care of the child? Of the woman. What is the man going to contribute? Who knows? I worked in court for 30 years. A good portion of that time was in family law. Mm-hmm. And I did work, occasionally work in the child support collection thing. Mm-hmm. And some of those cases were utterly obscene. For example, there was one man who had a family. I don't want to mention the country because I don't want to malign the country, but he lived in another country where he had a wife. And every time he went down there, he knocked her up. He had 8 children with her. Up here, he had a current girlfriend who wouldn't let go of his arm the whole time he was in court. She even sat at a counsel table with him. And 3 prior, maybe it was only 2, women who he had children with in this country.
Good grief.
Now, this was back, well, that's not untypical of a lot of these guys. Yeah. And what are they doing about collecting child support? They do what they can, but if these men have no money or no jobs, what are you going to do? I think, now, this is going to be a little outrageous, but what I think is any man who has not been able to pay child support for more than a year because he is not employed should have a mandatory vasectomy. Any man who has it with more than one woman should have castration. Why should they be procreating all over the place and not taking care of these children?
Yeah. I'm sorry, finish your thought.
No, and this whole issue that women have to have these children, what about the men who make them? And they should be supporting them. So where's any legislation regarding that?
I understand and empathize with your outrage and your sentiment, but I can't agree with them because forced sterilization has an absolutely terrible history in the United States. The eugenics movement in the 1920s, virtually every state was sterilizing mentally ill people, mentally retarded people, is how they were referred to back then, Native people, people of color. Going down that road of state-enforced sterilization, I think has the potential to be a slippery slope and could be very dangerous. But I do agree with you that something needs to be done, and it should be something substantial. And go ahead.
How about work camps? Put them in work camps where they have to earn money, and if they don't like it, it's too bad.
That's a reasonable one.
Clean them up and do something like that.
Yeah,
but
put child support under the same rather draconian provisions that the taxes and government fines are. If you don't pay them, you go to jail, and in jail you can earn $1 a day and pay it back or something like that. Yeah, Liz, I'm with you on that. Thank you very much for the call. And for raising an important point. None of these Republicans who want to have more and more forced pregnancies and thus more and more babies are talking at all about doing anything about the men who played a 50% role in that process. We'll be right back.